So you look at every single like listing for any engineering firm that's out there. In every single one of those, they say two things for growth, right? And this is a any engineering firm doing 2 to 10 million, let's say, right? Because that's the only ones that are ever for like actually for sale. Everyone's always for sale. They just aren't listed.
Right.
But in that, you'd have like they say two things like, okay, how do you expand this thing? One, more geographic locations. It's like open more offices. It's like, okay, well, why would you open more offices if you don't have any like clients there? That's stupid. And then two is like marketing and advertising, like or marketing, right? Because they don't know the word advertising. So these are the two ways that in every single listing I have ever seen for any engineering firm that like those are the ways to grow. But nobody in the construction industry knows how to fucking advertise. Like they don't. You look at any architecture firm, it's all brand awareness. We respond to RFPs, we do all this stuff. Like we barely do social media. We don't care about any of that. None of our people talk about anything ever, really. Some conference stuff, maybe, and we only get invited because we have, top 10 company behind our name, like so those guys from a marketing standpoint, like they don't know how to advertise, they don't send anything. And it's the same on the construction side. It's like they show up to a project, hey, we're top 10 firm, you want to build a stadium? Well, you got three choices to do this. And turns out we're the only one in town. So like we're your guy.
Right.
And by the way, you're going to use all of our self-performed services.
Right. Exactly. But I mean, you're spot on. It's none of us market for shit. It is so hard for me to even get my people to take pictures and like just send them to me. It's like you're pulling teeth sometimes. And don't get me started on social media, man. I've been running this ship by myself for 7 years, and like we still have the conversation. Like, guys, I appreciate you like stuff, but I need you to share it. And I not only just click share, like put a little flavor in it, like just like a few words, like be a fucking human just for a minute and get it out there for me. And now we have a guy here who's also doing that and kind of taking some of it, which has been great, but it's still he and I now. And like we'll get the likes, but it's just that next little bit, guys, just a sprinkle more and it'll be so much more powerful. But outside of that, we don't market. We were talking before. I had a conversation yesterday with a marketing guy, and he was kind of running through some of the same stuff. Like, well, you need to do ads, and you need to do this and this and this, and part of me just wants to blow it off, right? Like we're busy. We're insanely productively busy right now, and we don't have ads. We don't run any of that. But then the other side of me is like, well, if we're this busy now, like where could I take it if I brought in an actual funnel that was helping to add to that, and it's not even a financial thing, right? I mean, we're doing enough. We can afford to spend some on marketing and advertising. It's more just I think it's like a mental block in the industry, and I have it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. Well, and it goes back to not necessarily on the construction side, but for sure on the engineering side. Like in the 70s, you could not advertise. Like advertising was against like ethics code, literally. Like you could
Really?
not advertise. Well, and this was for all professional services. So, lawyers, doctors, engineers, architects, accountants, like fucking everybody. You could not advertise. Um, so once that got lifted, then everybody went crazy. And some of it ends up being too with like now the litigious nature of society, right? You have these lawyers that are all the billboard lawyers, right? The ambulance chasers. So with that in advertising, I think in architects have always taken this kind of stand of like people come to us, right? Like the holier than thou kind of attitude around a lot of this. And for good reason. Like in architecture, you only deal with the 1%. Like that is who you deal with, right? Like the people that hire an architect for their house have money. The people that build a building have money, right? Like you're not dealing with somebody that's, trying to live in Section 8 housing. Like that's not the thing. So when you really look at it, like that is who architects end up dealing with. And we forget that in like construction in general, that the majority of people that we deal with like have money. And it's a lost thing. So when you look through like advertising and history for it, that's how they got clients was on brand. And then really uh doctors, pharma kind of screwed a lot of this too. And then especially lawyers really hose the whole like brand image around it. And for architects, like they're very brand conscious. Like they very much understand brand, who they are, how they want to be represented, what they want to portray. And honestly, like everybody could learn a lot from architects on brand awareness and consciousness around how they do things and how they portray stuff. But at the same time, I think architects are also a little slow to put stuff out there. They're not as fast to do it in like generating content and being like standing for something, but the aesthetics, the feel, the look, like when you see a Gensler, an HOK building, like it's them.
So why do you think that is? Like, why did the lawyers become the billboard junkies and the architects and the engineers stayed kind of where they were in terms of marketing and advertising?
I think it's like anything, it's just a culture piece, and a couple guys. You could probably trace this back to like a handful of lawyers, right? And that's how they ended up getting clients, right? Somebody put their face on a bench in, Central Park, and then the next guy's like, well, shit, he's doing it, right? It's like, why do all real estate agents have their face on their business card? Because some guy did it at some point.
Because they're all douchebags. That's why. And the worst are the ones that have their face on their business card and their face on the fucking billboards. And I could point out one in particular that just, oh man, it's terrible.
Yeah, but like, I mean, so that's it, right? Like you go through history, it's because some guy did it, and then it's like, well, shit, this is how we should all act. You
Yeah.
know, screw it. I like my face. Let me put that on my card, that's great. And that's just how it went. And so, and when the 70s and 80s open up, and I think the other side of it is that, again, goes to a culture side of it, that architects, engineers were so risk adverse and so tired of being sued, they didn't want to like put their license on the line. And now advertising, even though the thing got lifted, it's like now we're opening ourselves up to litigation somehow, right? Versus lawyers is like, well, shit, I'm in court all day, any day. What's me being there instead, like defending
Right.
myself versus, my shithead of a client. Like, who the fuck
Yeah.
cares?
I mean, my gosh, if you drive from here to Detroit, you, you could count all your fingers and toes in lawyer billboards before you even made it 4 miles down the freeway. And it's everything you see. But you could probably count on one hand how many architecture firms you pass, or engineering firms, or construction firms for that matter. There used to be a pretty large construction outfit here back in the day in southeastern Michigan, and they were joked at, they were laughed at because they were known as the billboard guys. And the owner took the approach, like not the cheesy ones that the lawyers do, but he had billboards everywhere, all over the place in Metro Detroit. And he grew this company to be massive. He's now passed on, and the company got into some financial shit. But the company grew so large that they literally spawned off. I'm making up figures, but probably 75+% of the design build firms today in our market. Like they all can be tied back. It's like the Kevin Bacon game. They all get degrees back tied to this one company that was the billboard guy. But ever since that, nobody else does it. We put signs on job sites, and I mean that's about as billboardy as we get. And half of that is just so that our labor force knows where the hell to turn. you know, it's we've upgraded now. We have, some QR codes and shit where we're putting on them so that they can kind of do a little more dual purpose, but I don't know, man. I don't know if I see it changing much either.
No, everyone's too scared, right? Like, and this is it's really interesting. So in like advertising or construction in general, everyone's too scared to put their name out there, yet they're pissed off at any client they do get. It's like, dude, why are you in this business then? Like, oh, this project sucks. None of them are going to be perfect, man. Like, what world are you living in? Like, have you been in the construction industry? It's like, yeah, you're going to run into problems. Like, yeah, you probably didn't put something correctly on the drawing. Yeah, somebody probably didn't interpret what you actually put correctly, right? They can't read. So you're going to have that on all sides of it. The contractor's going to be like, what was this engineer thinking? Engineer's going to be like, dumb contractor can't read the, big font I put on the drawing to like tell him what to do here. And then in the progress meetings, you're like, yeah, man, it's okay. Let's just do this. I know we need to move through construction. It'll be fine. No issues. The owner's not going to make you rip it out and redo it. I'm not going to make you rip it out and redo it. Like, let's move forward like normal people. Everybody makes mistakes. It's fine. And we move forward, right? Like, how do we go from here? Which is why I like design build. And I was just talking to some guys yesterday. It's like, because I could tell a contractor that I'm working for, because if I'm wrong, he's wrong. And so he looks bad if I look bad. But it's like, okay, that wasn't right. Let's fix it. Here's how we move forward. And then they have a solution, they have a path forward. Like, we can go through this versus if I'm on the plan spec side, like I have to defend my position to the end of the earth so that I never admit wrongdoing. And then like you submit it and it's like, well, the HGA had some comments and we're now going to fix it because, bad AHJ, and we can blame it all on them. And we don't look bad, they don't look bad, and we avoid, basically admitting wrongdoing and fault through the process. But that's ultimately what you pretty much have to do on the plan spec side is like, nope, nope, I'm right. I'm for sure right. Can't be wrong here ever because then I'm fucked.
Dude, this is why I love these conversations. I literally went down this road yesterday with somebody here in my office. Like we had this exact conversation. Like when did we all get so fucking soft that the hiccups that occur in a project are like earth-shattering catastrophes that we can't somehow deal with now without pointing blame and like getting mopey. Like you just I'm not gonna repeat everything, but like you nailed it. There is not a perfect project. There never has been, there never will be. And I'm talking about guys who like they didn't just like come into the industry yesterday, right? They have been in this world for a very long time. They have cut their teeth on fixing mistakes, fixing the shit that comes up. But my God, if they don't complain and mope and get like all depressed, it's insanity. And a lot, and then there's the finger pointing. It's the engineer, it's the architect, it's the contractor, it's never us, right? Like we preach this whole team atmosphere here, and I go and I sell the team and I talk about the team and the team is this and this and this. But then all of a sudden something happens and everyone wants to like get back into their little turtle shell and be like, it's not the team, it's that guy. Just just get out of your shell and fix it. Make a phone call and just fix it.
And like on your side of it too is like this is what contingency exists for, you know,
For sure. For
like in
sure.
a small portion, right? I'm not saying that like everything is a contingency item, but like little stuff, right? Like it always amazed me on projects and like some of these change orders. And again, most of my projects were like 10 million plus, right? So like let's just keep this in mind for what I'm about to say, right? This is not a $500,000 little renovation. It's not 200 grand of a like we're making a bathroom here and putting in a air handler. No. This is like full, multi-floor renovations, full ground up builds, right? Like, and if it was full ground up stuff, then, the smallest was maybe 5 million for like a clinic, right? So in saying this is, and usually ground up stuff didn't have as many problems as like renovations. But anyway, the the thing is like on a $10 million project, and I'm getting a $2,000 like change order request. And it's like, I get that I have to like approve these things because I'm the engineer of record and this is how this shit works. But it's like, and guys are like bitching about, oh, the contractors like, holding us over for 2 grand. It's like, yeah, I understand that's a lot of money for you, Bob, right? Personally, but like, do you understand like what went into this? And 10 years ago, like the financial ignorance of a project too is high, even in our industry. Where like on the engineering side, it's like, do you realize that like half of that's just labor, the other half is materials. Do you guys realize this guy's probably still not making money on that $2,000 change order? Like he's doing it just because like he probably needs to get paid something back for the material that he outlaid to do this thing, right? And he spent just a ton of time trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong to make the project work. So why are we bitching about $2,500? Like it's a $10 million project. It was a $1 million electrical contract. Like get the out of here. Like what are we talking about, dude? Just approve it and move on. It is not worth your time, right? Your billable rates to spend 3 hours on this thing. It's $2,500. Approve it, move on, right? We start talking about 25 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. Like, okay, different deal. 2 grand, like, fuck, just approve it, move on. Like, it's fine. Yes, did he do some work on it? Sure, great. You know,
In the time it takes to fucking document this shit and type the emails and have the conversations, like you've already spent more in hourly wages than the chamber is even worth. And
yeah, like,
we we see it all the time. And I'm with you 100% on the, our trades guys, it's very easy for us in our ivory tower to look down and say, well, what do you mean you're going to charge me, $500 for whatever? Well, they have real costs involved. And it's not just labor, right? Labor you can sweep under the rug to a degree, but material costs and vendor bills don't stop. Now, on the flip side, I have gotten in a yelling match with some of our guys before when they submit me a change order for like $250. It's a $1 million contract for their trade, and they submit a change order to me for a single like $250 hit. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, like I've never been a guy to try and hold money back. I will pay you, but save that shit until you have at least a handful of them. Like the paperwork and the time it now takes me to even get it to the point where I can sign a check, it has cost me like 3 times that. So just don't be don't be so quick and so nervous that you're going to lose out. And I get it, man. We get GCs especially get a bad name in the market for playing games like that. We don't do that, and we primarily work with a lot of the same guys, job to job to job. So it was one of those same guys. Like, dude, I've known you for 20 years. 20 years, and I've never held like I pay you when I don't get paid. And you send me a $250 change order. Like something's wrong here.
are you hard up for cash, man? Do I
Yeah,
need
like
to just
I'll just peel off some bills for you and help you out if you need gas in your truck today, but shit, figure out a better accounting system.
Yeah, well, and that's just like, did you get a new guy in the office? Like what happened here? Right. And
Right.
but it's a like joking conversation right around that is because if you went and called the guy and they're like, do you need gas money, man? He's like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm spending more money right now talking to you about $250 than this thing that you submitted, but you do it in a joking manner. The guy's like, who, right? Then it's probably like somebody submitted this,
Right.
whatever. But some of it's we do need to be a little lighthearted around it, like, and then another, so a good example on a project that I'm doing, it's a core and shell, like 9,000 square foot retail space. Simplest project you could ever like think of, 5 units, core and shell, parking lot, like 9,000 square feet, nothing. Like this is as simple as it gets, right? Except it's not. We have some corporate tenants in here that are coming in. We're trying to get lease paperwork ironed out. They have very specific requirements and all their lease stuff for all this core and shell that we're putting in to fit their TI. And it's been complicated to say the least around what they need and then their requirements through this. And so in it, like, and our fees were small. I mean, this is like less than 10 grand for full MEP. And so like just nothing, right? And I'm sitting on like weekly construction meetings. Some of this is like my fault for pricing it so bad, but then it's like the contractors actually on one call were like, man, do you guys need to submit like a change order for some of this stuff? Like in, all the extra work that you've done and like gone back and forth on all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'll put something together, send you guys something. So our change order is like basically half our fee up front to like deal with all this. And they're fine with it. Like it's good. Again, our fee was so small that on a project like this, it's not a big deal. But but here's the lesson in this. I never put it forward to recoup that, right? I said we're a fixed fee project. This is what it is. I get we've had to go above and beyond to like solve some of this stuff, but I'm not going to ask for it, right? It's one of those like if it gets kind of put like that, that it's, even they realize it's egregious because we're contracted to the GC on this project is like, okay, all right, now I will submit it. Now I'll gather hours, now we'll put something together for this. And it's like, even I'm looking at this like a, 45% increase and, but it's like, again, we're talking a few grand, like it's not huge. And again, it'll be fine. But again, it puts us in a good light with them in that, hey, we went above and beyond. We'll submit it kind of once asked. We're not looking for handouts. Like, yeah, did I screw up on putting a fee together for this project? Yeah, somewhat. But also, there's just a lot of stuff that I did not anticipate having to deal with as we went through it. And then they recognized it, we recognize it, and we move forward through it. Versus I've had folks like, we're not going to do any of this work until we get our change order. And then it's still going to take us 2 weeks to do this thing for like, and I get putting stuff on the calendar. Like I get a week, 10 days to like deal with some stuff, but it's like, this will take you 2 hours once you sit down. Like we're not going to put in this change order for all this work, all the other things that you've done because you want to get paid for this new thing. Like you can't retroactively do this stuff for a new issue. Like that doesn't work either. So it's using some common sense around like how you go about this stuff to again make everybody feel good about the money, because it's not the money necessarily, it's the sequence in which you ask for the money or you submit a change order, how you do it. Like it's not that you're asking for it, it's how it comes about that matters way more, that I think people really get screwed over. And then being willing to be like, yeah, man, we'll take that change order. Like, we're not gonna say no, thank you, right? Like, even on our little project that we worked on together, you're like, if you need something, it's like, no, man, we're good, right? Like, I'm not gonna again squabble over $300. It's not worth it.
Well, it's just about being fair, and so many times over the last 4 years we've been doing this, we've talked about relationships and the power of building relationships in this industry. And that's what it comes down to, man. Like that story you shared with the other GC you're working for, or with the one, like that's awesome. That's how it should be. Like you shouldn't have to go groveling to them asking for more. They should recognize like, okay, this guy is going way above and beyond. And the fact that you didn't go asking for it, now like you're solidifying that bond with this company, hopefully forever. Like they know you're fair, they're fair, everybody gets taken care of, nobody gets strung out to dry. And it's a good thing, man. It's how this should be. Like we all have to make money, right? This industry, I just had this conversation this week with someone. This industry is so fucking stressful and so chaotic that there is literally no reason to be doing what we do unless you can at least make some money out of it, right? We could go and sell widgets or do a million different things that are way less stressful and way less chaotic and way more predictable. But we don't. We do this because we love it, but we all deserve to make money. Like no one's going to get rich you're not buying your yacht off of one project, right? I'm not buying my Lambo off of one project. But everybody on my team and everybody on your team is like, we all need to be making that progress to get to your yacht, to get to your Lambo or whatever that is, right? It could be an old pickup truck. I don't care. It's just, it's got to be fair. And there's a way to do this. There's a way to operate in this industry that isn't so disgustingly cutthroat as the old school contracting and design methods. And I don't know. I mean, it gets into a lot of psychology type stuff, but it's just it's unfortunate when you see it. And we're working with a civil engineer here locally in our area. They've been here forever. We've worked with them forever, primarily on plan spec stuff. Well, we're trying to kind of bring them into our design build world because especially our main contact, he's a good dude. Like he's responsive. He does good work. He's starting to understand how we operate, like and the crazy chaos that we bring to a project by like, no, we don't need all these details, just sketches. Let's move fast. But he still has that plan spec guy mentality. So like if I call him and I say, hey, I need an Alta survey, just throw it into your proposal, whatever, and we'll pay for it. It's still, well, I have to go have such and such down the hallway, write it up a proposal, and then you'll have to sign the change order, and then I can go do it. And I'm like, dude, I'll pay you. Take my word for it. This is my letter of intent. Take whatever, like, I'll pay you. It's $2,500. Just do it. But they won't. So we're getting to that middle ground where like we're not rubbing elbows too much, but it's like, okay, this is how this is going to go. Maybe in another year of this, we'll get past that point where they're afraid of getting screwed. But it's the dog that got beaten once, right? They're always going to cower away when they see a hand come at it, even that hand's coming to pet it. And somewhere down the line, this firm got absolutely hosed by some asshole contractor or owner or whoever that tried to swindle them out of that $2,500 Alta survey. And it's just an unfortunate fact of our industry.
I have two stories on this. So one is one of our good clients on the engineering side with vertical is just, I mean, dude, this is why I love contractors. I was talking to a buddy yesterday, and like what we really focus on moving forward for the engineering business. And granted, I've always got a place for engineers, right? Like that's what Calbung is going to do and continue to do is serve them the best that it can through technology. And then on the engineering side, it's like, well, who are we best going to serve, right? Do we want to, be in that plan spec world? Because this is really what it comes down to. Do you want to do plan spec projects or do you want to do design build, right? Work directly with contractors and like help that side of it. And who do you like? And I was talking to a buddy yesterday and I was like, dude, I look around and I really hadn't like thought about this until I said it. I was like, all my friends are contractors. Like it's like who all the people I talk to are contractors, general contractor, like drywall contractor, electric contractor, like I talk to like those are my friends as contractors. So I'm like, well, shit, I should probably just serve contractors. Like that'd be a pretty good idea. But in that, like I was one of our main clients texted me yesterday, they run a 30-40 million dollar a year electrical business, texted me and I basically quoted him a project via text message yesterday afternoon. I know he's good for it and he just needed to put it into his bid basically. It's like, yeah, man, okay, we're good. He's like, you the man. I'm like, all right, great. Thanks, Frank. It's
That's how it should be. Like we can do so much on handshake deals. And we've talked about contracts, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have contracts. I get it. Like you have to have all this, but at the upfront level, like what you were just talking about, like that's how it should be, man. Like not everyone's looking to burn you. And I think if we just recognize that and remember that and build those relationships, like that's when construction becomes really fun, is when like I can make that call, like Dillon, listen, man, I'm in a bind. We're submitting this number. Like I need a gut check. What's it going to cost me to have you design this, and this? And you shoot out a number, and like if your number's wrong or like what, like I'm not gonna we're not gonna torch you for it. I'm not gonna hold you to it. But Like just help me out so that then I can help you out once we get this project and then it's real symbiotic and it's a good thing.
Yeah, ballpark it. And so my other story on this is I've got a another good friend who's a superintendent, been a carpenter, like worked his way up through the union and everything, 30 years. And over last year really got to know this guy. And he's here in California. And over that time, he's like, man, we used to have all these smaller firm architects, structural guys kind of all over the place who we'd use for these like smaller projects. They'd get some of the bigger ones, but they were like our go-to guy who I could call, come out, like, hey, can you come take a look at this, this week and like tell me if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, on what we're doing. Like, give me, quote me some stuff, charge me whatever, a couple grand, 5 grand to like take a look at this, structurally or architecturally or whatever the thing is on this small project that we're doing. Give me some sketches or like, he was like, I'd even do some sketches for, what the trusses are like and the structural beams and send it to the guy. And he'd either make some marks on it or say, oh, that's good. And he'd stamp it and like, that's fine. Keep moving. But to that point is then all these guys have either gotten bought up or it's only big guys. And so you then, their legal teams get all in the way of like doing business and performing and executing. And yeah, like in the history of it, I'm sure somebody stiffed somebody. And this is where like I'm reading Arthur Gensler's book, right? Design firm that does over $1 billion a year in revenue, which is just impressive for any professional services firm. And they only do architecture. So with that, he's like, your project manager, the guy managing the client, should also do collections, because then you find out who's a deadbeat and who pays their bills.
Good theory.
That's what they do. You don't reach $1 billion by continuing to work for deadbeat clients.
Right. Uh,
Or you could at least be like, hey, Matt, why haven't you paid your bills?
right. Right. They have to rethink my collections department.
Well, because then you have a relationship with
Right.
whoever the person is, right? And but this is all stemmed out of the the whole project managers too chicken shit to go and ask, so they hand it off to the accounting department because they have no problem dealing with money.
That's exactly what it is. And usually, yeah, it's those hard conversations. It's that we're like doing a wrap up of like 4 years worth of conversations here, but it's the lack of ability for people to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Just rip the fucking band-aid off and talk. Have the conversation that you don't want to have. Bring up the billing, bring up the design flaw, bring up the construction mistake, Let's just get it on the damn table. It's it's amazing how much extra chaos that we add to this industry that literally doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, like I mean, I had a conversation with a guy yesterday, owners complaining about like fully rated breakers. And I'm like, when has an owner ever known that we put fully rated breakers in? Like, it's just like, dude, go back to I don't doing something else, right? Like, the client's gonna be happy. Like, just get out of here, man, developer. Like, you're not, it's okay, man. But it goes so much to like joke a little bit around this stuff, like have some fun with it. Like, you
That's
know,
exactly it.
it's again, if somebody were to call and go through this, it's like, man, am I missing something? It's like, well, no, I could see why you're thinking that. Like, I did, it is not clear on the drawings how this is going, right? Like, it says both things, and I understand the one you're looking at and the one that I'm looking at and would defend. But, like, again, all right. Yeah, no, that's not right. This is how it needs to go. Okay, good. You haven't bought anything yet. Great. Like,
It's amazing how many things you can cure by just bringing some well-timed humor into a conversation, right? Respectful humor. It's not like we're not getting work done or any of that, but just bring some levity to the situation, man. And life is too short. It's just it's going back to having fun. I don't want to do this if I can't have fun. The day I stop having fun doing what I'm doing, I'm out. I will find something else.
Yeah. Like, oh man, I was talking to a contractor the other day and I made a reference on like a transfer switch to like a neutral, right? Like there's no real neutral position at a transfer switch. You're either hot to emergency or hot to normal. And me making the like, there's no neutral position. He was thinking about the actual like electrical neutral in the gear. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, oh, I was making a reference to a car and like a stick shift, being in neutral, not like, you're not in gear, right? Like it's one way or the other. My bad, like bad reference. Shouldn't have used this. Like, sorry for wrong analogy, And then he's like, oh, okay. I thought I was just a, idiot contractor. It's like, no, man, that was a dumb analogy to make. My bad.
Well, that's just it, man. If you can bring some levity, bring some humor, make it more fun, it it's why construction is such a fun place to be, a good place to be, right? You take away all the bullshit and you're still gonna have to deal with stuff. You still have, angry people and mistakes and all this stuff, but there's a reason we do what we do and we talk about what we talk about. It's not just fluff, it's not bullshit, it's not, just some pie in the sky vision. You can make this a reality in this industry. It can be a great place to be.
Yep. Well, and with that, man, I think that's probably a good place to wrap. Anything you want to add on for this episode?
No, man. I think we should mention that it's been a long run, you and I doing this, and just given how things are going these days, I'm gonna be taking a bit of a step out, but by no means leaving. I'm just gonna be less of a frequent guest because literally with my schedule these days, I'm bailing on more shows than I'm sitting down to record. So uh, just wanted to throw that out there. But we appreciate the listeners. I appreciate the listeners. Appreciate you bringing me on, man. It's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to continuing the conversations, albeit not as frequently on microphones.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and actually look how many episodes, but you've probably been on you know, 150 plus,
Yeah,
probably half of as we've gone through here over the years. And so yeah, man, it's been a good run having you here. And again, you're always have a seat on the show.
appreciate that.
And it's one of those things we'll continue to do. I'll continue to do. I'll continue to talk about all these things, and we'll talk about commercial construction, what we're doing, things that come up, have some lightness to it, what we're doing, and really, guys, just showing you the journey as we go through it. So you'll hear more of me probably moving forward. Well, you will. You'll always hear me, but we'll keep at it. And then if Matt, you have anything that you want to come on and either vent about or share some project wins or anything like that, man, you're always welcome.
Oh, we'll be in touch, man. We will definitely be in touch.
All right, guys. With that, that's this episode of the Construction Corner podcast. Until next time.